We're going to use the effective interest method to look at the entries surrounding a bond payable that is sold for more than its face value. In fact, in this case, the bond is sold at 102.5, and you'll recall that that means it's 102.5% of its face value. And the face value of the bond, or what you'll repay when the bond matures, is $4 million. Now the bond has on it a rate of 9.5%, but its effective interest rate is 9.2%. So let's see how the entries go. So we're going to sell it on March 1st. So on March 1st, we're going to debit cash for 102.5% of $4 million, which just so happens to be $4.1 million. And we're going to credit bond payable for $4 million, which is its face or future amount, and we need premium on bonds payable for the difference of $100,000. So this bond sold for $100,000 more than its face amount. Then on August 31st, our first interest payment, we will debit interest expense. We'll start amortizing the premium by debiting premium on bonds payable. And we'll credit cash since we need to send out a check. So the interest expense, remember, is always the carrying value, which is the present value when we start out, which is $4.1 million, times the market or effective rate, which is 9.2%, times time, and it's been half a year. So the debit to interest expense on the first interest payment is for $188,600. Cash will be credited for the cash that you have to send out semi-annually, which is on the bond, times the bond's stated or face rate, and in this case the bond is paying 9.5% for half a year. So doing the math, we're sending out $190,000. So the premium will be amortized for the difference, or the plug. So the plug amount is $1,400. Now by making that entry, the carrying value of the bond is reduced, so that when we're making the second interest payment on February 28th, and we debit interest expense, we debit premium, and we credit cash, the amount of the cash remains the same at $190,000 because that's how much the checks are that we send out every 6 months for as long as this bond is outstanding. The interest expense, though, the carrying value started out at $4,100,000, but we said that the carrying value is going to be reduced by the amortized premium. So the new carrying value will be reduced by the $1,400 we had previously amortized, times the effective rate, which is 9.2% for half a year. So what we're going to debit interest expense for is $188,530. $1,436. So the premium now is getting plugged for the difference, or we're amortizing $1,464. The next time, or the third time we make the interest payment, notice the carrying value of the bond is going to be reduced again by the amortized premium of $1,464. And so it goes until at maturity, the carrying value will be equivalent to the face amount of $4 million.